What's up, everybody? Welcome to another State of the Empire episode with yours truly, Coach Rambo Ray. Today, we're going to talk about a few things. We'll start with recapping the Minnesota event last weekend and then going into this weekend's event with the Paris, since we have back to back weekends because of how the schedule kind of panned out with how the Minnesota weekend was moved 1 week back. So yeah, let's start with the Minnesota event. The boys came out, played pretty well. Things didn't go our way in the end. We lost Game 5 to FaZe, and then we also lost Game 5 to Florida, the eventual champions in the semifinals, which that one went to round 11, which is pretty crazy. Like, it's just insane to think about how close the competition is getting. And it's only going to get closer, I feel like, towards the end of the year. Kind of on that topic, most teams have evolved. Like, most teams that are kind of like getting to the point where they're going to be contenders have evolved to a point where they can compete now. Early in the year, there's plenty of rosters that you saw that were like, oh, like, why are these guys not performing? At this point in the year, like, I'd say maybe like for the next event, if not the following one, like the second last event of the year, you should know which teams are going to be able to compete when it comes to COD champs. Like, if you haven't figured it out at this point, you're most likely not going to be able to figure it out from now till the end of the year. But yeah, I'd give or take like another month or so, and then you'll know which teams are really going to have a chance to win champs. So yeah, no, it's crazy to just see the level of competition. The boys played well. We made a few mistakes. We kind of not threw away maps, but we had like issues holding our level of play. Like, for example, the FaZe series, we started out red hot. I mean, we played lights out COD in the first map. We played basically lights out COD in the Surge. And then we had a really good first side of the domination, and then just things didn't start going our way, and we made a few mistakes. And then FaZe is just, again, a really good team of capitalizing on your mistakes. So if you play mistake-free COD and you can compete with their level of kind of slaying, then typically that's a team you can beat. But we just didn't do that for the second half of that series, and then they took us out. We played Seattle because Seattle beat Minnesota, and then we played Minnesota first match, which was, I mean, we played pretty well. I guess one of their players was injured, so that kind of sucks for them. And yeah, we played pretty good against Florida too. Again, it was a back and forth series, two teams playing a very high level of competition, and things don't go your way sometimes. We played some maps that we felt comfortable, and then some maps that we're kind of like trying to put into our pool because we've been working on them as of late to try and really take out some of the maps that we feel are our weaknesses, and then we played to that as much as we could since we lost the coin toss in some of the series that are important, and that's just the way it goes. So we did the best to control our outcome and play maps that we felt comfortable on, which I felt like we did a good job of for the most part. So yeah, it's just tough loss to Florida. Florida went on to beat FaZe and win the tournament, which technically kind of puts Florida in the mix now, because Florida's like 20 points behind us in the standings. They're obviously a team to be reckoned with now that I'd say that was a pretty convincing win they had last weekend as far as like beating teams that are at the top, right? They beat us in FaZe, which you can argue are top 2, top 3 teams in the game. Not saying that their last win wasn't as the same, but I felt like there's a lot of kind of question marks on the server quality and whatnot, how that last event went, which with the first event of the online series or whatever, which we competed in, and that the one that they won. So I felt like this was kind of the convincing, like this was like, yeah, Florida's here to kind of play kind of tournament. And yeah, it kind of puts them in the picture now that we have like their Huntsman, us, FaZe, and Florida now are kind of like battling it out for the top 2 spots for the end of season kind of point race to get the best seeds possible in champs and allow yourself to be put in as deep as possible into the winners bracket, so you don't have to play as many matches to have a chance to win. So yeah, no, it's crazy. It's really getting interesting. Kind of also that kind of not transcends, but puts us into the next topic of this weekend's tournament and the importance of the remaining tournaments we have. We have 3 events left. We played this weekend. We played London today, and since I'm doing this on Friday, we're competing against London today. If we win that match, we play the winner of, was it Florida and Paris, which, I mean, technically with how well Florida played last weekend, I would be very surprised if Paris were able to beat them. But yeah, no, a chance for another rematch. Hopefully we can do our thing today and take out London, team that's been kind of, in my opinion, have been improving, but have all been kind of like stuck in that middle kind of tier this year. They've had like multiple chances of breaking out. They actually got second against Chicago in one of the recent events. So definitely not a team to be kind of taking lightly. We all know that. We all, like, at this point in the year, you can't really take anybody lightly, especially like, for example, the Gorillas last weekend just played amazing. So any team who's going in there thinking they're going to get free wins is kind of doing it wrong at this point. So rest assured, fans, we are not taking any matches lightly. We are going in with the utmost respect for any team and their capability of winning matches. But yeah, big tournament this weekend for the points. Again, we have 3 events left this weekend. Then we have 1 event off, which means we have 4 weeks off, and then we compete again in back-to-back weekends before the end of the season, and then whenever champs is after that. So not much Call of Duty left to be played in this game. We're going to make the best of what we got and best of situations that are kind of weird. Like, I'm sure you guys have heard on it. I kind of want to speak to this a little bit, but the practice regimens have been a little weird. There's a lot of kind of question marks around like how different the 60 hertz spawns are in comparison to the 12 hertz spawns. We've been competing on 60 hertz CDL server spawns, but then we've been practicing on GB servers, which some, for whatever reason, seem to be playing a little different than what we typically play on. So the practice hasn't been as great as it's been in the past. I mean, obviously, the 12 hertz has never been kind of a good thing. So 60 hertz has been a relief to a lot of players and their kind of ability to win gunfights. And it's a lot more comparable to LAN, which is great. Like, there's nothing wrong to be said about what 60 hertz has done for kind of the level of competition and making sure that the best team wins. But also kind of like to that point, like the practice regimens for every team in the league has been super weird. So it's been kind of a weird couple of weeks of practice. So every team's doing the best of it, and we're handling it in the best way we can to make sure that we're as prepared as we can come tournament weekend. And hopefully we've been doing the best we can, and it shows this weekend. And we have a good weekend of tournament, or a good weekend of matches in this tournament. I think there was one more question I wanted to answer. No, I think that's it. I think I covered it, guys. Again, I hope you guys enjoyed these kind of updates. Today was kind of like a little lackluster, but again, if you have any questions or things you want me to talk about in next episodes, I do these State of the Empire episodes every Friday. So appreciate you guys watching, appreciate you guys commenting, and let me know on Twitter or anywhere you can reach me directly if you have any kind of topics you would like to cover, and we can talk about it in the next episode. But yeah, hope you guys have a good Friday. Watch the matches today. Root for our guys. Hopefully we come out on top. And yeah, take it easy, guys.